Well, it's been a very challenging year for the hospitality industry. We all know why. But has life come back to normalcy? Given that COVID cases have plunged, vaccine is around the corner, how exactly is the hospitality industry geared up for this holiday season? What are the trends? Have occupancy rates come back? How much of the life has normalized? Now, to understand that, over the next 40-45 minutes, we would be extensively chatting with various representatives of the tourism and the hospitality industry to understand that what the ground realities and how much of the business has really normalized in a tough and a very shaky year for the hotels from the tourism industry. And it gives me great pleasure to bring on board a very dear friend of mine and a very well-wisher of the channel, Mr. Puneet Chhatwal of Indian Hotels, the man who runs and manages India's biggest hotel chains. Mr. Chhatwal, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I can see a Christmas tree, so I guess celebrations have already started.
Absolutely. Thank you firstly for having me and supporting us throughout this year, our industry in particular. No, we are in a celebration mode at the moment, and it's the post-Christmas, the party continues. And we are very pleased with it.
Would you broadly share with us that how exactly this holiday season is moving for your business? It would have been perhaps a difficult question if I would have asked you that what your view for holiday season was if I had asked you this question beginning of November. But given that life is back to almost normal level, how much business is back to normal in the holiday season for Indian hotels?
So, Nikunj, what I will do is I would like to keep the international part out of this. That's UK, US, South Africa for us. If we focus only on the Indian subcontinent, then amongst domestic and business travel, we can differentiate. On the domestic front, when it comes to leisure, we are as good as at pre-COVID levels. I speak to you right now from Goa, and I can confirm, as I've consistently done over the last few months, when it comes to rooms revenue, we are more or less the same level as pre-COVID. We are running all our outlets at more than 90% occupancy. And we hope to close the month around those figures, anywhere between 85 to 90 for 31 days of the month. And what we are seeing from November onwards is almost a 30% growth over the previous month. So November was 30% more than October, and we do believe that December could also be moving in a similar direction. We do get some dampeners every day, something new comes, and then we have to readjust our strategies. But I do believe that some of the leisure destinations, especially Kurg area for us, Kerala, Goa, Rishikesh, Theog, near Shimla, our palaces and our combination of business and resort destinations in Rajasthan are really doing much better than we would have expected in September or early October.
Wow, I mean, correct me if I heard it wrong, but what you are telling us, and this is an extraordinary number, that for the domestic business, 90% of the business has normalized, and your palace business and luxury hotel business, which in a sense also had a very large occupancy which used to come from foreign travelers, is actually doing rather well.
Yes, so I think you heard it right, and I was able to, if I want to say that 90% on the leisure front. Now, this is not applicable as yet on the business part of the travel. So as far as leisure is concerned, as far as Christmas break, New Year break is concerned, the leisure destinations are full, and we are almost back to the level that you described, 85 to 90% of the pre-COVID level on rooms revenue. There are certain restrictions on food and beverage, as we all know, because of the wedding segment, because of the MICE business. restrictions on number of people that can attend. So food and beverage is not there, but rooms revenue, definitely, we are back to 85 to 90% of the previous year level in leisure destinations.
Now let's look at the other side, which is international business. Unfortunately, the second case of corona has really hit the Western world. Whether it is Europe, there is almost a partial lockdown in UK, and even in America, things on ground are not that great. So will it be a complete washout for international business for one more quarter?
I'm actually cautiously optimistic that things will start changing on the international front as of latest end of January. And that has various reasons. That has political reasons. That has reasons in terms of subsidies. That has reason in terms of grants that an industry gets. We have seen that previously in UK, for example, Eat Out to Help Out was a very big success. Similarly, I think something will come up over the next 4-5 weeks as the international markets, the mature markets, rely far more on tourism, hospitality business than the emerging markets do. Some of the emerging markets, of course, their tourism is the number one industry. But, London needs to have hotels busy. Paris needs to have hotels busy. New York needs to have hotels busy. So I'm cautiously optimistic that something will come in the way of the hospitality industry over the next 4-5 weeks besides the vaccine. And the government intervention has helped us previously in terms of supporting the staff costs, which was a big help to the industry. And I'm sure things like property taxes, rates, etc. in UK will be subsidized to some extent by the government to help and support the industry in this very difficult phase that it is going through.
Okay. Puneet, good morning. There were so many of the newer properties that also opened up and that saw great traction in the year gone by as domestic occupancies went up, like you just described. You've also signed for 3 hotels that will increase capacity going forward by 7 to 8%, expanding your footprint under the Ama brand as well. Tell us a little bit about the progress on that front, how they're also adding to profitability and what the outlay is as well going forward with regards to newer properties.
Sure. So I think today we can say very confidently, I think we have the strongest pipeline of hotels, that is hotels signed, contracted and communicated to the market. We have more than 45 hotels in our pipeline. Another 10 bungalows, which we don't communicate at the same level. Bungalows means under the Ama brand. And we are very much on track, even in a COVID year, in opening a hotel per month, and opening more than 12 in the financial year. And this is very important for us because when we started on our journey of changing our business model over a few years ago, we wanted to have a balanced portfolio of 50% owned and leased and 50% under a fee-based business. And we started our journey with more than 70% under owned and leased. And we're very pleased to report when it comes to pipeline and hotels in operation, we're very close to that number. And very soon, over a period of the next 18 months, we'll come to that even with hotels under operation. So that's been a part of our business model that had nothing to do with COVID, and we have not needed to adjust that post-COVID or during COVID, if you want to call it that way. This year already, we have signed more than 13 new contracts on a fee-based model or without any capital investment from us. We have opened several hotels. There was no possibility to open properties because we had a lockdown. Since the unlock 1, 2, 3 has come in, we slowly started opening hotels, and we're very proud of our new property in the Taj Skyline in Ahmedabad, the one in Darjeeling, the Chia Kutir, and the Connaught in Delhi. I think I would encourage everyone to go and have a look at this property, have a drink at the least. So I think these are some of the assets which are so different to each other. At the same time, with our brand Ginger, at the bottom of the pyramid, we have also opened new hotels in existing locations as well as in new locations, and we are going very strong with Ginger brand. Today Ginger has a portfolio of 75 hotels, so more than 15 operations and a very strong pipeline. And so I do believe that most of these brands post-COVID are very well positioned to take advantage of the pent-up demand of the business travel coming back, of the conference business coming back, and our footprint, our massive footprint on the Indian subcontinent, positions us in a very advantageous position compared to any of the other brands on the national front.
All right. On the cost side, the company cut almost 51% of costs in the first half itself. What's been the total cost reduction? How has this aided overall margins? Is this now, have you completed that cost reduction drive? Is there anything more on the anvil? Anything you can share on that front?
Yeah, so I think the 51% cost reduction, the majority of that came from a variable cost reduction. Why variable cost reduction when your business comes out to almost zero revenues or 15% of revenue of the previous year in the same quarter? Then automatically the variable costs go down. However, and having said that, I think the industry globally has had a one-time opportunity to reset its cost base. And we have definitely been doing that at Indian Hotels. And I think we are very determined to bring down our cost base going forward, become more lean, become more efficient, take advantage of digital, change our processes. And I think the last 7-8 months, a lot of time has been invested in doing all these activities. And going forward, we see no reason that the fixed cost base would definitely change significantly. Part of the variable costs will come back as the business starts to come back. So in proportion, however, it will be lower costs than we have seen pre-COVID level. And as I said, every crisis also brings opportunities. The industry has had a one-time opportunity to reset the cost base across all brands in different positionings. And a lot of stalwarts who are very good in cost. When we have our formal and informal chats, we do definitely admit, like, wow, we never saw that we could change this and the other costs, whether it is related to utilities, whether it is related to labor costs, whether it is related to construction costs, capital expenditure in terms of renovation of properties, what is really needed, what is not needed. I think if there is one silver lining of this crisis, that has definitely been the awareness on the cost base, both on fixed and variable basis.
So what is that number which is a permanent reduction in your fixed costs now? I mean, that's a number which you've attained after looking at your processes and your entire supply chain, and that's permanent for Indian Hotels now.
Well, at the moment, we are going forward. You have to divide that into two different sets of numbers. One is in the operations, that is in the properties itself. The second is on the corporate, whether it's a corporate support office in Mumbai or these are the regional offices based out of Delhi or Bangalore. And we are definitely targeting on those numbers a minimum of 20% change in the fixed cost base. And when it comes to the in fixed cost base, including the overheads, I would say. So on the operational front, in the hotels itself, of course, it will be reflected more and more in the new properties that open. And by redeployment of additional staff that is not needed at lower occupancy in the new openings that we have had. So we've been able to move, as an example, a lot of our staff from Taj Palace or Taj Mansingh in Delhi to the Connaught, which is a newly opened property. The same thing we have done in Darjeeling. The same thing we have done in Ahmedabad. So that way, I think we've been socially responsible. We have retained our staff, we have helped them grow, and at the same time, become more efficient and lean in our management of properties and in deriving better cost base than we had it previously.
Just to wrap it up with one more question, and I just wanted to understand from you, what do you think would be the consumer behavior or trend in 2021? I'm working with an assumption that by middle of this year, large part of India will get vaccinated. Do you think that 2021 could be a blowout year? Because for a lot of us who wanted to travel, may want to travel in 2021 because we are feeling safe.
Firstly, a lot of you who want to travel, I would encourage you to travel. That is my obligation as one of the travel leaders, also sitting on different forums and representing the industry. I think if you take precautions, it is safe. Otherwise, if you're crossing the road also, there is always a risk out there. I think with all the good sanitation and all the good practices that have been put in place by the WHO, by the health ministry, by the brands themselves, definitely assure you a safe stay. So I think, and we have put in a lot of promotions like those with AirAsia and with Make My Trip and our 4D promotion. So there are a lot of those things which we have put in. The recent ones, the sky is yours or the floor is yours. You can have the full floor of the hotel to yourself. So I think the opportunities there, that's one. The second is what happens once the vaccine comes in. Now, the latest that I'm hearing is that we are developing a lot of herd immunity. So the vaccine coupled with the herd immunity will definitely drive demand back, definitely on our Indian subcontinent. And I think what I have seen personally in leisure destinations, if they are any form of benchmark, people have been just ready to go out. And, it doesn't feel that there is COVID when you come to Goa at the Christmas or at the New Year's time, especially on the north of Goa. So there is a lot of demand built in there, which is just waiting to come back. And on another positive note, I think with the Ginger brand at the bottom of the pyramid, we are seeing a lot of increase in occupancy. So we were at around 50% plus in the months of October, November, but we do believe that December, this number could go north of 60. So that's a very encouraging sign. And Ginger is not typically a resort brand. This is not a leisure brand. So there is definitely signs of demand coming back. The mutation of the virus or some other bad news or some other kind of lockdown, shutdown, curfews would have an impact on the demand coming back. But as we speak now and as we speak today, the signs are all positive and we do see some green shoots coming out.
Puneet, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Great having you with us here on ET Now.
Thank you for having me. I wish you all a safe time and to all of you at ET Now a very happy New Year in advance. Thank you.